Okay, as we learn the Mishna Yomis, and we are sponsored by the Fisher family, the Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi Shalom ben Avram Alevi Perel Bas Ruvain. We also learn the Nishmas Dav ben Chaim, for Shalem for Yomis ben Chayisar, for the Schus of Abraham ben Yam ben Shma Malk Yudis and family, by Yol Klugman and family for the Parnasa Gesund and Nachas, and the Refuah Shalema for Moshe Meir ben Esther Fradel and Meir ben Chayisar. They should have a Refuah Shalema b'Seich Shar Chayla Yisrael. We are holding by the third and the fourth Mishnayos in Masechtas Sanhedrin, and the Mishnah tells us about the king. Meis le meis, if he loses one of his 7 close relatives, Eina Yotzim Mipesach Palterin Shalai, he doesn't leave the palace. Rabbi Yehuda says, he's not like the Kohen Gadol. He doesn't have to worry about if he becomes Tameh. If he wants to follow the coffin, that's fine. We find that David HaMelech did that. That he followed the coffin of Abner, who was a great Talmud Chacham. He followed the coffin. The Chacham told Rabbi Yehuda, you can't bring a raya from there. There was a suspicion that David HaMelech had to do with Avner's death. So therefore he followed to diffuse that suspicion. It was only to appease the nation. But otherwise a king does not go out to a funeral. He doesn't leave the palace. It's beneath his dignity. When the king suffers a loss, and they bring him the first meal, everybody sits on the ground, they sit lower than the king, and he sits on a low leather couch, or a love seat, which is higher than the safsel, than the bench that the Kohen Gadol sat on. Now, the king can take the army into a war for an optional battle, al pi bezdin shel shivim ve'echad, with the approval of the Sanhedrin Agadol. And if the king goes anywhere, he and his entourage could march and plow through people's property. Nobody could stop him, nobody could divert him, and they don't have to go single file. Rather, derech hamelech ein lo shir. The path that the king takes has no shear. His entire entourage could go as wide as they need. Now, when they go to battle, the kala boizes in the noisna lefanav. They take booty and they put it before him. The king takes half. The rest is divided, half amongst the warriors and half amongst the people at home that supplied the stuff for the war effort. Lo yarbelei nashim, a king cannot have too many wives. Ela shmeina esrei, the most is 18. Rabbi Yehuda says he could have even more. The Torah says that they shouldn't turn his heart. So if they're not going to turn his heart, he could even have more than 18. Rabbi Shimon says he can't even have one if it will turn his heart. And she's a bad influence. He shouldn't have a lot of wives. He shouldn't have more than 18, even if they're as righteous as Abigail. Lo yarbelei susim, he shouldn't have many horses. Ela kedei merkafta, he could only have enough for his chariot and for his war machines. He just can't have more than that. Can't have stables just for fame. The kesef is of lo yarbelei ma'id, he can't stockpile silver and gold. Ela kedei litein aspani, he has to have enough to pay his army and to pay his staff and for public needs, but he can't just stockpile silver and gold for his fame and glory. Because of like Sefer Torah Lishmai, the Rav says, besides the Sefer Torah that everybody has to write for himself, he writes a Sefer Torah for his name, and this should be with him at all times. Yotzei l'milchama motzia imay. He goes to battle, he takes the Sefer Torah with him. Nichnas, he comes home, machnis imay, he takes it with him. Yoshev Adin, he sits in judgment, he imay. Mesev, he reclines, he kenegdai. It's near him. In other words, the centrality of the monarchy is Torah. Shenem avayise imay, it should be with him at all times. V'kara by kol yemei chayim, and he reads from it all the days of his life. Rabbi say, we want to thank you all for joining us and wish you a wonderful evening.